crafters, Lisa here at Fun Stuff Crafts. So glad you could join me today, and I'm really excited that today I am going to share with you my new craft room. This was a labor of love, probably our biggest COVID project that we did as a family, and it turned out great. So I want to give you just a little bit of back history, and I also want to show you some shots of what this craft room looked like before. So I'll make sure I click one up here and one up here. So my craft room that I'm sitting in right now used to be a garage bay. Now I should qualify it a little bit that my husband has a hobby of collecting classic cars. So we have quite a few garage bays on our property. Luckily, we live out in the country and we have lots of space. So as Fun Stuff Crafts was growing and as I was trying new mediums of crafting, it soon became apparent that the extra bedroom that I had in the house was not going to work as a craft room. So in about August, my husband had offered the idea of me taking over one of the bays of the garage, and so our journey began. So I'll share some pictures of what that journey looked like, and then today I'm really excited that I'm going to take you through my entire craft room. And as we go through it, you guys will see that I chose to set my craft room up kind of in stations. I thought it would help with my organization. Definitely I have more space for a lot of my crafts, but I thought if I set it up in stations, that way I could put those supplies in that area. So you'll see that as we go through the tour. So stay tuned. I'm gonna change my camera angle and we are gonna walk through my craft room. But before we do, if you're new to my channel, thanks so much for stopping by. Make sure you click on the subscribe button and click on the bell, and YouTube will alert you each time I upload a new video. I try to do that every Friday. That's why we call it Inspiration Friday. So give me a second and we'll get going on this tour. So as we come into my craft room, which is in one of our garages that is separate from our house, we enter the door, and the first station that I have set up is my sublimation station, or my heat press station. And I really put this whole area really around my heat press. And so one of the things that I thought that I really wanted to make sure of is, as I was doing projects, and you'll see as we go around the room, I have a very large island in the middle. I wanted to be able to move my heat press. So we came up with an idea of doing a tool chest, a rolling tool chest. And this has worked out just great because I have got lots of drawers for all of my accessories that go with both my heat press, if I'm doing vinyl or if I'm doing some sublimation. So the heat press and the rolling cart really worked out nice. And one of the things I did just the other day when I was doing a tutorial is I was able to roll this to the other side of the room. So it worked out really, really nice. Then I wanted to make sure I had some storage to go with this area. And so I decided on some cabinets that were both with doors and drawers. One tip I learned along this journey as you're looking at cabinets for your craft room is drawers are more expensive than doors. So you'll see I have quite a few doors throughout my craft area because of that. But I was able to put some of my things I need just at my fingertips as I'm doing anything to do with my heat press, or this is my sublimation printer. So for instance, I have all of my sublimation paper right here, and it's really handy. Another theme that you're going to see throughout my craft room tour is I have garbage cans everywhere. One of the things that I decided is if I have a garbage can handy, I'm going to get rid of the garbage quickly, and it helps with staying organized. Otherwise, what happens is I finish with a piece of blowout paper here, or I've cut something to trim it and it sits, and maybe I get sidetracked, I'm off to another project. Now I've got a garbage can that's really handy. So for this station, the key things in my mind are my sublimation printer is very close as I'm using my heat press. I've got my cupboards and I've got some sublimation blanks stored in these cupboards. The other thing I did do, and you'll see this theme throughout my craft room, is I did lay a Cricut mat down, and it's one of their mats that I can do cutting on, and it also helps protect my countertop. On my countertop, you're gonna see this theme throughout my craft room, and even on my large island that I have in the middle of the room. This is butcher block that we picked up from Home Depot, and this has just worked out great. So you'll see that countertop throughout my tour here. So cabinets I picked up from Lowe's, and countertop from Home Depot. So let's move on to the next area, and it's a little seating area, which was a extra little bonus area that we put in once we had this craft area done. So this is my cute little seating area that was actually a bonus area for my craft room. These are actually my garage doors, and we did leave the garage doors. And so during the summertime, I'll be able to open these doors up and let some fresh air in, or if I'm doing like a painting project and I need some more air in here. But this was just space that was empty. And so my husband surprised me for Christmas and picked up these cute chairs at TJ Maxx. And I just love the black and white buffalo plaid. So I was just super excited, and I knew the perfect place to put these chairs. I also picked up one of these milk can tins at Hobby Lobby. It'll be great for storage. I have nothing in it yet. I do actually have some areas in my room that I have empty storage, which is super exciting. I do have a project I'm going to be doing, is I have put my logo on some water slide paper. And so I am going to put that on top of the wood bin, or the wood top, metal bin wood top. So I'm really excited about doing that. But I just love this area just as a sit back, and you know, I call this my happy place. And so this is just one more area that it's just so fun to sit, and maybe I'm working on a project or I'm looking through and getting some ideas. It's really fun to move away from my desk and come and sit in these comfy chairs. So next stop is going to be my paint station. So my paint station is an area that I had decided I wanted to do a little bit of color on my walls. And so I really went back and forth on how to organize this area. So I already had this cabinet, and I've got some of my stains, some of my spray paint cans, and that in here. But what I have finally ended up with is I already had an IKEA pegboard system. So I decided to put that to use, and I have added acrylic shelves to it. Now I have got some more shelves that I'm going to be putting a little bit higher up. But I love the idea. I was looking on Pinterest for different ideas on how to store paint. And I love the idea of using the paint kind of as a display and give it a little bit of color. So the acrylic shelves have worked out really good with me. A couple other ideas I tried some spice racks, and I tried just displaying it here on the top of the cabinet, and it just didn't look right, and this wall was really empty. So I've got 4 more shelves that I can add. One thing I will note is these are not IKEA acrylic shelves. So when I bought them, I was hoping that they would fit in the little holes, and they don't quite. But IKEA has got some holders, so I've actually got holders underneath here holding up my acrylic shelves. So really, really happy with this area and how it turned out. I've also got on display just some of the sublimation things that I have done. And that's one thing I thought too with the shelves, I'll be able to do a little bit of display. One thing I want to do is I want to do a quick camera angle change, and one thing we didn't talk about was what I did on my garage door. This is right above my seating area, and if you guys have watched any of my videos from my old room, I've always had this saying up on the wall, so I thought the garage door would be a great spot to it. So inspiration, a feeling of enthusiasm you get from someone or something which gives you new and creative ideas. Get inspired. That's what really, I saw this saying, and that's really what started me with Inspiration Friday. So we're going to continue around the room. The next stop is going to be my Cricut and paper crafting station. Okay, so now we're moving on to my far wall. So we've come into my craft room, we've hit the sublimation station, the little seating area, my paint area, and there is a door going into the other part of our garage, which is my husband's area. And then we come on to my largest area that I have cabinets. Now, as I was deciding on how to do the cabinets on this wall, I really wanted to make sure I had storage and that everything could kind of be at my fingertips. So I already had the upper cabinets in my old craft room. So I decided to look at what I wanted to do based around what cabinets I had, but I also wanted to determine what I was going to store in this area. So for example, in this area, I have got all of my vinyl. And so what I was able to do, and I'll give you guys a better close-up view of this, is I went with these pantry style cabinets so that I could do my vinyl. My vinyl used to be out, and I really like having it behind a door, and so it looks more organized. The less disorganization, the less stress in Lisa's life. So I went ahead with these pantry style, and then up above here, I've got some tubs and I've got some mugs. So I was really looking at what I was going to store in this area as I designed it. On my upper cupboards, and I'll give you guys a close-up view here too, but I've got tubs organized with different types of crafting materials and supplies. I've also got at my fingertips in my drawers all the little things that I might be using with card making or with paper crafting, all different things. And you guys, I love these little trays that I picked up at Dollar Tree. I have got them in all my drawers. And then of course, this whole area was around my Cricut. And so my Cricut is front and center. Again, it's on another one of the Cricut pads that I just absolutely love. And again, we've got the same countertop. So the other side of this is I've also got another upright cabinet just like this, and it is full with all of my paper. So I'll give you a close-up view of that also. But this area has just worked out really, really well for me. And I love the white, the white cabinets. I just think it adds so much to it. So we're gonna move on to our next area, which is going to be my desk area. So this is my desk area right off of the cabinets that we just looked at that has all of my Cricut area. And this is my L-shaped desk that I had in my old craft room. And I picked this up at Habitat for Humanity a couple years ago. We didn't think that it was going to fit in this space, but it's worked out great. And what I love about this desk is this is a adjustable desk. So if I want to stand and work or sit and work, it works out just great. So what I've kind of set up my desk with is, of course, I work from home 3 days a week. Some of you know I'm a banker by day, and so I am able to work from home. And so this is my office and my crafting area. So I've got my dual screens, I've got my work computer, and then I've got my Mac Airbook, which is what I use for all of my design and my crafting. I also got a small Epson printer. It's very handy to have a printer available and easy to use. I was running back into the house whenever I needed to print something, which was a royal pain. I do have some drawers here. These are IKEA style drawers, and I've got a cubicle here that has got some pull-out cubbies that I put a lot of stuff in. And then over here, I've got my tall IKEA setup, and this, believe it or not, is almost all empty, which is really encouraging because I've got lots of area that I can still store stuff. But there again, you guys, I have these trays from Dollar Tree to organize this area. So this works out really well for me. I just installed a pull-out keyboard that helps out and helps keep my clutter down. And again, I have another Cricut mat on my desk to help protect the top of my desk. So next stop, you guys, we're gonna check out my reclaimed wall, and behind these barn doors is my closet. Okay, now we are just past my desk. We just left my desk, and we are at what I would call what used to be the back of the garage. So I wanted to make sure that I added in a closet area to do some storing of some items. And so we played around with what that closet was gonna look like for quite some time. And we decided to just wall off a section of the back of the garage. So that's what you see here. And as you can see, we have turned this into what I would call maybe my signature wall, or my focal point wall. And this is a reclaimed wood wall. And what we did is we had some old fence boards here at the house, and we bought some more fence boards. And then we used a vinegar and a steel wool combination. My husband and I put all the wood through our planer, and then we just painted it with the steel wool and the vinegar to give it the different finish. So you can see there's lots of different colors on this wall. And then to top it off, we added in these beautiful barn doors. So I have always wanted barn doors. I don't have any in my house. Now I definitely want some in my house, but I just love these barn doors. So let's come on in and I'll show you what's in the closet. Okay, so as we open up the closet doors, you are going to see that I picked up a very cute little, and I'm going to change my camera just a little bit so you guys can see it. I picked up myself a cute little refrigerator that I just absolutely love. Refrigerator, freezer, so I have that. And teal is kind of my signature color, so that's what I added. I've got my Keurig, so I've always got coffee available. Got a little coffee cart here. And I've got my convection oven, which I use for sublimation. And then we've got a sink. So those are the first things you see as you walk in. And now let's take a corner and turn around the corner, and I'll show you what I've got stored. So as you can see, I just put some shelves up in my closet. And then I did have one extra cabinet base, so we just put that in there. And so I've got lots of different sizes of cubbies. I've used my Cricut to do some labeling on it, and I've got some cute wood boxes. And then we spin to the other side of the closet, and you will see I've got a lot of my fabric stored. Now, I love this idea for fabric storage. I kind of did a hack on it. You can actually buy these already pre-cut, but I actually just picked up some of the foam board and I cut it, and you can see I've got all my fabric stored. What I like about this is I know what colors of fabric I have available, and it's just easy to use. So that was one large area for all of my shelving that I wanted to make sure I had space for my fabric. Then this closet is by no means perfect, you guys. I do have a 2-drawer lateral file cabinet there. I've got some of my wood stored, and then I've got some tools. My husband actually has got me some of my own tools, so I'm not in his garage taking things. And then you can see that I've got some other wood stored there. So the closet has been great. The other thing that I found with the closet is I've got a few hooks on the walls just to store stuff. I've got my brooms hidden. The other thing I did is I've got a station that I've got my dust buster plugged in at all times, and I've got the rechargeable batteries for some of my tools, and those are already always set and ready to go. So let's move on to our next area, and that is going to be my sewing area. Okay, so the next area coming right out of my closet is my sewing area. And you can see we did the same tabletops that we did on our other areas, and these are the butcher blocks that we picked up from Home Depot. I've also got my Alex units, and I actually picked up a second one. So this one has got a lot of my sewing. I've got my thread real handy. And then I've got another one right over here that's got my scissors, and you know, everything's sewing just right at my fingertips, which I just absolutely love. I did pick up 2 matching chairs. I have 2 sewing stations. My son's girlfriend loves to sew too, and so there are times that we definitely were doing masks at the same time when we were sewing lots of masks, but so we've kind of got it set up that we can have 2 stations here. Of course, I've got my sewing machine, and I've got my serger, and then I've got Michaelin's sewing machine there too. This is also where I've got windows, so I do have some space. I think that's the one thing that I miss the most from my old craft room is I had a large window. But I will trade all this space for having just 2 smaller windows. So just love this. One idea that I absolutely love, you guys, and I'll give you a close-up of this, is I picked up a tape measure at Amazon, and it is an adhesive backed, and so I have got it on the front of my countertop here, and I've also done it over here. And I use it all the time when I'm sewing. It is so nice to have it. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I'm working on a project, I misplace my tape measure, and this one never goes anywhere. So just absolutely love it. The other thing that we did install here, we didn't have any heat in our garage, so I do have right above it, you can't see it, it's above my Fun Stuff Craft sign there, is I've got a mini split. And it's very economical to heat in here, and then I've also got air conditioning for the summertime. So that's been really nice. Believe you me, we've had some cold mornings here in the Pacific Northwest, and I love having my heat. So we've got one more stop on this wall I want to show you. I've got another pantry unit, so let's hop over there real quick. So right at the end of my sewing area, I have another tall pantry area. I call it a pantry cabinet. That's what it's called online. And I'll give you a picture of this one too, but I've got a lot of my packaging stuff. You know, I sell down at our local shop-ish in town, and so I've got a lot of my packaging all set up here. And then I have got an old file cabinet, and this was actually my dad's file cabinet. It used to be brown. I finally broke down and I painted it white because I wanted it to match the rest of the craft room. But I absolutely love it. I have a piece of my dad here, and so it works out really nice. I've got different things that I can store in here. So it's just another way that I can have more storage here in my craft room. So the last stop, you guys, and I can't wait to show you my very large island that I've got in the middle of the craft room. So here we have my large island, and I will tell you guys, we had the hardest time trying to decide how I was going to do an island. And if any of you guys follow me on Pinterest, I have got a board that is all around craft room, and there are lots of things I saved on how I wanted to do my island. Eventually, when COVID's over, I would love to be able to do some classes, and I also wanted a stand-up work area. Both for sewing, this will be great for laying out patterns, but also just working on things, having a lot of area that is away from the outer skirts of my craft area. So my husband and I found these butcher blocks. As I've said, I've been using them as countertops throughout my craft room. We found these at Home Depot, and this is actually 90 inches long. And we've got 2 of them. And so then my husband started looking, and we found some bench legs for a workbench for a garage, so they're really heavy duty. And so he added those with me and created my nice large island. I just absolutely love. And then I picked up these cute stools at Amazon. And so I've got 8 stools. I could easily add a little bit more in here, but it's very comfortable with 8 stools. The other thing I really liked about these stools is if I wanted to, the backs remove. And so then I could just stack them up. But I haven't had any issues so far with it, and I just keep them around my island all the time, and it works out great. My husband pops out here to sit and visit with me as I'm working on something and pulls up a chair at the island. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this tour of my craft room. I'm going to give you a circular view of it as we wrap up this tour. Please, I would love to hear your comments. I'd love to know what's your favorite part, or what station, what idea, what did you like? Or are there some ideas that you think that would help me out with organization and what I could do a little bit differently? So thanks so much for joining me, and I really appreciate it. And next week, we'll be back to crafting.